Okay, so if you saw my last video, we did a little concept of cars, gave you the philosophy and why we do cars. This is going to be a walkthrough of a level 1 car. Level 1 meaning this is the intensity for our daily warm-up. This is something that you're going to do every single day. Should take you about 5 to 8 minutes to walk all the way through it. Once you get used to it, it flows pretty easily. And so I'm just going to give you one simple version of each and something we can get started with. So I'm going to start in a high kneeling position. You can stand up, you can go into quadruped on all fours. The high kneeling, what it's going to do for me is it's going to help keep my body straight. What we want to do is really isolate each joint. We're looking to avoid any compensation at all to the best that we can and to give each joint that full rotation through. So we're going to start right up top, cervical spine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flex my neck by bringing the chin down to my chest. I am then going to rotate it over to the side. I'm going to look over my shoulder, side bend in. When I get to my end there, I'm going to extend, look all the way around, come to the other side, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Here I'm bent, I'm going to straighten out, rotate back into that flex position. Now, a couple things you should understand. With the FRC system, we deal primarily with progressive angles and regressive angles, or open and closed angles. So when I side bend my neck, this is the lengthened angle, this is the closing angle. The restriction should come from the side that's lengthening. So if I'm tugging on this side a bit and this is what's being stretched, and even if there's a moderate amount of pain there or discomfort, that's okay, we can work through that. If you have any pain on the closing angle side, you're going to want to avoid that movement and possibly go see a therapist that can better take care of your needs. But otherwise, what we want to do is give a good amount of intensity. These are level 1, say about 10 to 20% of what you're capable of doing. We want to inhale, pack the air down, squeeze the rest of our body. The more irradiation we can get throughout the rest of our body, the stronger we'll be able to be where the motion is intended. So once more, I'll just do the neck one again. We are going to provide that irradiation and intensity. I'm flexing. I am rotating over to the side, dragging it along my chin along the collarbone. I'm going to peek over my back shoulder. I'm going to bend it that way, extend all the way around till I come to the other side, and I'm just going to come right in as I went out. I'm going to do this either for time, possibly 30 seconds each way. I could do it for reps. However you want to do it, just make sure that you're doing it. Second one is going to be our thoracic spines. We just did cervical, working our way down. I'm going to come to the side to make it a little bit easier. Same thing, we're going to inhale, pack the air down, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your thighs, push your feet into the floor a little bit. Not too much intensity, but just enough to send the tension throughout your body. So what I'm going to do now is focus on my thoracic spine. So I'm going to flex just as I did with my neck, but try to move nothing else. I'm going to peel it forward, one vertebrae at a time as best I can. There's not going to be a lot of motion here. And now I'm going to repeat the same thing that I did with the neck. I'm going to rotate all the way to the side, far as I can get. When I get to that end, I'm going to side bend down, extend all the way back until I come to a side bent position on the other side, rotate it in, and back into a flex position. So I'm going to rotate all the way out, far as I can go. Once I stop, side bend down, and I'm going to extend from the low back, trying as hard as I can not to move my hips with it. And I'm going to come in on the other side and complete cervical and thoracic spine. We're now going to move to the shoulder joint, the glenohumeral joint. So the first thing I'm going to do is externally rotate my shoulder, so my palm is going to face out away from me. We're going to turn that best you can. We're going to adduct all the way across the body, and then we're going to flex the shoulder up as high as it can get. When it gets to the top, as high as you can get it, you're now going to internally rotate your palm and keep fighting for more internal rotation as you continue down and extend the shoulder. We are going to end up with the palm facing directly out towards your side. You'll probably get some snap, crackles, and pops in there. That's it's a good thing. What I'm doing with my hand here is I'm just keeping it against my ribs. I'm keeping a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt, so my buckle is almost trying to point up. And I'm keeping it tight just to ensure that I'm moving nothing but the shoulder joint. Now, I'm going to do the same thing to go back, reverse movement. I'm going to go into extension until I no longer can reach any further. I'm now going to begin to unwind that shoulder, bring it all the way up and down. Obviously, we're going to do that on both sides. We're now going to move into scapula. So the scapula is the space in between your shoulder blades. A lot of people have difficulty controlling this right here, so this is an important one. Once more, inhale through the nose, pack the air down, give me a little bit of intensity. We're going to do it on the sides for now. Bring your fingers onto the pant seam. If you're wearing pants that have a seam, we're going to stay right on that seam. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to elevate my shoulders as best I can. I'm going to protract them, move them forward. I'm going to depress, and then I'm going to retract, keeping my hand along this seam the whole time. I want my middle finger to stay right on there, glued to my legs. They can go up and down, but not left and right. Right, so then I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to elevate, protract, depress, and retract. Now I'm going to reverse that movement. So from here, I'm going to protract, elevate, retract, and depress. Next joint down, we're going to hit our elbows. So to do this, I'm going to externally rotate both palms. Make sure you're creating a bit of intensity here. You could do these bilaterally or one at a time, whatever you're more comfortable with. Same thing, inhaling, getting that tension. I'm now going to basically just bicep curl, but without trying to move anything else. I don't want my wrists to come up to me, and I want my fingers to stay together, stay out, and I'm going to use that elbow pit to pull straight in. The more tension you create, the more work you're going to get done in the elbow. So I'm going to bring it to the top. I'm then going to pronate my hand out and force it back down all the way, supinate at the bottom, bring it back up. Do that for a couple reps, then you're also going to go the reverse way. So hand is pronated, palm is facing down. I'm going to do the same thing, try to keep that elbow pit facing forward. I'm going to flex that elbow, supinate the hand, and extend the elbow. You should feel it right deep in that elbow pit. Whew. It's hot in Orlando, Florida in the afternoon. Excuse the sweat. Working hard. And that's only 20% intensity. Moving on, wrists. So, similar position to where we were just in. I want your palms facing up. You can close your fists. You can go upside down, whatever you want to do. This is what we're starting with today. You are going to point your pinkies into each other, not moving anything else. Pinkies coming to meet. Then the palms are going to go away from each other. Bring it up. Have your palms face each other. Pinkies back in. That's one rep. Then we're going to go backwards. Same thing that you just did, just the opposite. Do that a couple directions each way, a couple times each direction, and that'll be done for your wrists. Now, we're getting to my favorite, the most fun one, probably the one you're going to hate absolutely the most in the beginning, but trust me, it gets better. So what I have here is a dowel, pick up at Home Depot, very valuable $5 tool. We're going to use this to help direct our intensity and keep balance. So not only am I holding on to it, but I'm going to be driving it straight into the ground. Better I do that, the more strength I create all the way up, the better balance I'm going to have, the better control I'm going to have of the joint. So really focus on this one. Inhale deep. Squeeze a little bit harder, harder than you think you need to. Now, I'm going to start by externally rotating my foot. So I'm starting here. When I get as far as I can, you should feel this blocking right back here. I'm going to flex my hip, bring it straight up while still externally rotating the hip as best I can. It's not going to move, but I'm going to try to keep it moving that way. I'm now going to swing it open. I'm going to adduct this hip maximally. As soon as it gets as far as I can, I'm now going to internally rotate this hip. I'm trying my best not to lean too much. Make it an honest circle. Oh, this is working. I'm going to extend that hip all the way back. Keep my balance, keep forcing this in. Now send it back and just do the opposite of what we just did. Bring it in and down. Okay, moving on, we have knees. I'm gonna do knees standing up just because I'm back up here. You could also do it sitting down. Let me grab my trusty dowel once again. Okay, so I'm going to flex the hip. Now the hip's not moving, only the knee is moving. So what my goal is here to make this tibia, this blade here is going to move left and right. I'm going to turn my foot all the way out, extend this out from the knee, turn it all the way in, and pull it in. Same thing, all the way out, just rotating that knee internally and externally, and then go in both directions. Now, the whole time, whichever direction we're going in, internal or external rotation, I want you fighting to maintain or get more of that rotation. That's what's going to be able to cause the change. That's your knee. Moving on to ankle. Ankle is pretty simple. I gotta catch my breath, it's so hot. Okay, so I'm just gonna flex my ankle, turn it up to the right, pull it up, rotate it, and we're just going around. We're doing the best circles that we possibly can without compensating from anywhere else. So we're trying to avoid letting any of the knee, like we were doing in the last movement, control the ankle movement here. So I got my leg extended all the way. I'm squeezing it tight. I'm trying to really focus on this right here. This is where all the movement is coming from. So I turn to the right, down, pull it in, putting 10 to 20% of pressure in there, and around. Both ankles, and you're good. Now, the most fun here. You may not have moved your toes in a while. We're gonna do that starting every day, starting today, every day. So I'm putting all my toes into the ground. First thing I'm gonna do is lift my big toe. Up, down, up, down, up, down. We'll do this about 5 times. Now leaving that big toe planted into the ground, I'm gonna lift the rest of my toes. All 4 up and back down. Up and down, up and down. 5 times as well. All your toes up. Big toe straight into the ground. All the way, hard as you can. Push through the ground if you can. Up, we'll do 5 of these. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Keeping all your toes up. We're now going to spread them wide. You're going to drop your, as best you can, your pinky toe first and sort of piano key in. Eventually we're going to land with our big toe. So pinky toe down, all 4 toes down, big toe down. All up. Do this 5 times. And that is the basic daily cars run through that is going to help lubricate all your joints, get you prepared for the morning. And I'm going to go take a shower. Thank you guys.